Hello everyone, it's Guido Grinbaum again, and here we are for module number 9 of the course that we're about to look at. We're going to understand right now how micro-credentials are changing the landscape of knowledge, how they're connecting universities, countries, and people, and how the institutions that choose to adapt today will be the ones to define the future of global education. For centuries, education was a closed system. Each country had its own model, each university its own format, each degree its own academic language. But the 21st century broke down those borders. Today, learning moves without a passport, and micro-credentials are the common language that makes it possible. We are moving from national education systems to global knowledge ecosystems, where what matters is not where you studied, but what you know how to do, what you can show, and it's not about where you learned, but how you validate that learning. This brings us to a new concept: ecosystems of trust. Each region of the world is building its own. Europe with the European Learning Model and Europass, the United States with Open Badge 3.0 and One EdTech, Asia with its decentralized networks based on educational blockchain, and Latin America with initiatives like Mochila and, in our case, RealCup. Each one is different, but all aim for the same thing: to create a verifiable, open, and interoperable educational system. Universities are no longer islands of knowledge, they are nodes within a global network, and the challenge of this decade is to learn to collaborate, issue, and recognize learning beyond institutional borders. It's not about losing identity, it's about amplifying it. The more interoperable a university is, the more relevant it becomes. Standards are the language of this new world. Without standards, there is no dialogue. Open Badge 3.0 defines the structure. The European Learning Module translates the competencies, and One EdTech ensures that everything works on any platform. These standards are the Esperanto of learning. They allow a credential issued in Buenos Aires to be recognized in Paris or Tokyo. Let's look at the numbers. Today, 68% of European universities already issue micro-credentials. In the United States, it's 74%. In Asia, 61%, and in Latin America, 34%, but with the highest growth rate, 40% annually. More than 80% of global employers already recognize digital credentials, and 70% of students prefer institutions that offer them. This is not a trend, it's a structural transformation. And behind these numbers lies a powerful reality. Knowledge is becoming portable. For the first time, learning can move with people. It can travel, cross borders, and integrate with other cultures. Micro-credentials turn education into a living system, a system that evolves, adapts, and is shared. But technical interoperability is only the beginning. The real leap is collaboration between universities. When one institution recognizes the credentials of another, trust is built, and trust is the cement of this new educational structure. The future is not about competing, it's about co-issuing, co-validating, co-learning, and co-creating. There are already national frameworks that integrate micro-credentials. Ireland, Australia, Canada, Spain, Finland, all are advancing with official recognition policies. And in Latin America, programs like Mochila are building a regional network that connects universities and ministries within a single ecosystem of verifiable credentials. For the first time, Latin American knowledge has a common architecture. But with growth also comes responsibility. Micro-credentials raise new ethical challenges. Who controls verification? Who protects the data? How is digital equity ensured? The future of credentials cannot be only technological, it must also be ethical. Universities will have to balance innovation with academic sovereignty, and technology with purpose. If we think about 2030, learning will be a continuous flow. Every experience, every course, every project will generate verifiable evidence. Students will move between universities without losing recognition. Learning will cease to be the property of an institution and will become an interconnected right. That redefines everything. Universities will no longer be a building where you learn, but a networked space where knowledge is validated, and micro-credentials will be the universities and the basic units of this new system. Small, portable, connectable, verifiable. Small pieces that together form an architecture of knowledge. Think about this. Today you can study at a university in Mexico, do an internship in Brazil, take an online course in Finland, and showcase it all in a single validated profile. This is already happening. Education is no longer local, now it is global, mobile, and transparent. The map of knowledge is no longer drawn by countries, it is drawn by connections. The universities that understand this will not only take part in the change, they will lead it. Those that don't will be left out of the new global educational trust system. That's why this isn't just a technical debate. It's a conversation about power, legitimacy, and the future. Microcredentials return something to learning that we had lost. The traceability of effort, evidence of merit, transparency of knowledge, and that is profoundly human. Knowledge, at its core, has always been about collaboration. From the first medieval universities to the digital fields of the 21st century, education has always been a network. Today, we are simply making that network visible and ensuring its trustworthiness with technology. Micro-credentials are the modern form of a very old principle, recognizing the value of shared learning. In the coming years, the most relevant universities will not be those with the most buildings, but those with the most partnerships, those that make their credentials speak the language of the world, those that turn every challenge into a verifiable promise, and those that understand that teaching alone is no longer enough. We must connect, validate, and support. That is why the future of education will not be a technological revolution, but a cultural evolution, an evolution where knowledge is free, traceable, and shared, no matter where it was learned. Thank you for joining me in this module. I hope this course has shown that microcredentials are not just a tool, but a historic opportunity, an opportunity to redraw the map of human knowledge and for the universities in our region to become active participants in this new world that is already being born. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next module.